Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jake. This channel is called Jake of All Trades, and today I'm going to be getting around to the next song in Nightwish's new album called the Antikythera Mechanism. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And I had to look up what this was because I had never heard of this concept before, but at least according to the perfectly infallible Wikipedia, it is the oldest known example of an analog computer. It's an ancient Greek hand-powered orrery or model of the solar system, and could be used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance. So I'm curious to see how they turn this into a song. I mean, it makes sense considering the Ocean of Strange Islands. Hopefully I got it right that time. Perfume of the Timeless, The Lantern Light, and Yesterwind. It just seems to all kind of fit in the same theme of like winding time and history and progression of things. So I'm curious to see how they again turn this into a song, and without any further ado, let's get started. All right, here we go. The Antikythera Mechanism official lyric video. Here we go. Very creepy sort of vibe to begin with. It's got like a marching on, but nice synth. These visuals too are crazy. Ooh. That harmony too. Wow. I'm gonna have to sit down and analyze that one. Gosh, the symphony. You got some floor shouting. Okay, that lines up with Wikipedia. I love the melody. That is cool. It's like primal, creepy. I don't know. And that drum work too is beefy. Back to the chorus. It's just such an epicness to this. Ooh. We got a change up. A little bit change in BPM and feel. Kind of hear the crunch of the bass in the background too. mean, like with the ancient tribal imagery, like this is giving me, the music fits so well. Holy crap, that drum work. Oh, they're like worshiping the eclipse? That was an interesting little cut there. Is this where we're ending? Have we reached the end? We have.
1 week later.
Alright, so a little bit of time has passed since I did the reaction. There's some delays and some false starts and stuff. So anyway, not important. What is important is breaking down the song to the best of my ability here. And I want to start with the lyrics. And going into the song, I didn't really know anything about the Antikythera mechanism. I even pronounced it wrong. I got the pronunciation from a little BBC clip about it because after reading the lyrics, to try and understand a little bit more about how the song was inspired and how it ties into the actual Antikythera mechanism, I had to look up the history of it. I had to look up the discovery, and it was pretty amazing to learn about, even in just the little 6-minute clip, that there was this lost, complicated artifact that could calculate the positions of the stars and the eclipses and stuff like that years in advance just by like turning the dial. You know, this is super complicated. I guess what they call like the world's first computer. I don't know if that's necessarily accurate, but still, it's like an amazing discovery. So seeing how it ties into the lyrics, where it's like, unearth a weave of a lost world, your father's voice no more unheard. It's like the discovery of this super complicated mechanism like at the bottom of the ocean. And looking at the lyrics, like humankind reconciled, human child undefiled, navigate, celebrate history, mystery, evokes the image of reconciling ourselves to how history actually was versus how we thought it was prior to the discovery. And it kind of shows us what we were capable of even 2,000 years ago. There's still a lot of mystery surrounding it, like how it was used, and there's like other things that they're finding with new technologies, but just be able to find like deeper layers within the pieces that they found. And then they're working on like trying to, you know, model it and reconstruct it using different software and stuff to get a really good idea of what this actually was. So there's a lot of mystery still surrounding it. The whole labyrinth reference, outermost reaches of human mind labyrinth, like something super complicated. There was a commentary in that documentary, that mini documentary, where I forget who it was, but they said something about how human knowledge isn't just like a straight exponentially or linearly. It's like this, all right, we make some advances, but then something happens, like libraries are burned or ships sink or whatever happens, and then like we lose stuff, or a big cataclysm happens and an entire society is wiped out or something. So it sets us back, but then we start putting the pieces together, and then we get to a new peak, and then it falls off again. And you know, it's not linear. It is definitely, it got some ups and downs to it. One of the comments in that video was like, if they were able to really draw what the Antikythera mechanism was capable of and take it to its logical ends, we would have been to the moon like 300 years after the creation of the Antikythera mechanism, which is kind of crazy to think about, because that would have meant we were on the moon like 1700 years ago if they could draw that. Now, maybe that's an exaggeration, I don't know, but that's kind of crazy to think about. And so like this whole song evokes that image of, you know, the potential of humankind and what we were capable of and what we have lost, but all the mystery is surrounding all of this. It really evokes a really cool image. And I think even the imagery in the video kind of hints at that, thinking about the way that it's able to predict eclipses and the alignment of stars and celestial bodies and stuff years and years and years in advance. There are still groups of people that like worshipped the stars and worshipped the sun and the moon. And so like kind of getting that aspect of things tied in with the prediction of the celestial bodies is just kind of like a nice mirroring of like different thoughts. Because like I've seen Nightwish, I think they're atheist or agnostic or something, and they, you know, are more science focused and, you know, technology focused and stuff like that. But they're like marrying that world with like the ancient tribal religion sort of ideas. And I don't know, they seem to do it really well with the song. And then getting into the music itself, starting with the intro, the beat almost has like a marching on type of feel to it. Like the time is just marching on, and they got the like this ethereal ghost synthy vocal over the top of it, so it's kind of got that mystical sort of element while time is marching on. And when we get into verse 1, you got the tribal imagery, like worshiping like the eclipse. You've got the drums that kind of go along with that. It's got this very tribal-esque sounding drumming pattern, and Floor's vocals have like going along with the synthy vocal in the intro, like this very ethereal element to the melody. And she ends it on this minor cadence, which again, kind of tying it a little bit into the religion thing. I don't know. I grew up in the Catholic Church. It sounds very Catholic to me. There's probably like different associations with that too, but like for me, it sounds very Catholic. That's just my particular association with it. So there's, again, a little bit of the marrying of the science and religion type things like with this video. I don't know. Anyway, then we get to a section where Troy is singing and Floor and the choir backs him up with a lot of like ahs, and it sounds like they're following along with the vowels of what he's singing. So he's singing like the main lyrics, and then like they're singing along, but like removing the consonants. That's how I heard it anyway. I may be wrong there. And then we get to the chorus, and with the rising melody that Floor is given, da-na-na, da-na-na, na-na-na, 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 na-na-na. It's got a rising intensity to it. Like I love the increase of the tension, and we're just like waiting for the resolution, and I love how it just progresses. Then it ends with Floor shouting, which I don't think I really heard her do in a song before. I've heard her growl, I've heard her do like opera, I've heard her do lots of different types of singing. I haven't really heard her like give a straight up shout, you know? So that was pretty interesting too. Then we get to the second verse, and one of the big differences that I noticed between the first and second verse is that the drumming seems a lot more modern. It doesn't seem as tribal. It's kind of got the hi-hat and the... That's probably too basic for what he was doing. I don't mean to insult him. I'm not a drummer, so please forgive me. But it's more keeping the rhythm than it is like the kind of tribal-esque sort of sound. And then we get to the second pre-chorus where Troy and Floor, they're singing, kind of gives a little bit more of a calm before the storm, because again, that chorus is very intense. It builds in intensity, and to give that contrast of the super intense, they like really dial it back. Then we get to the chorus again, and then we get to the instrumental break, which was completely, well, I don't want to say completely different from the rest of the song, but had a very different feel. The BPM increases, there's more of a sense of urgency. Like there was a tension increasing in the chorus, but then in the instrumental break, it's even more ramped up. Like the bass sounds different. The bass guitar, I thought it kind of sounded rattly. Like it stands out a bit more. And you've got like this section by section call and response where you've got like the guitar and bass and the drums on full display. It goes to a section where the orchestra kicks in more and they're more on display, and then it kicks back to the guitar and bass and drums and then it's like this cool like back and forth between the two different sections, and I really love how they did that. You've got the choir singing the ahs, and the drumming was really impressive here. Like I can't, again, not a drummer, can't really describe what's going on, but I am just hearing the sounds that are coming from the drums, and I'm like, I cannot believe a human is capable of that. That's insane. And so I love that. It was really, really good. Then finally we get out of that section, it calms down, the BPM slows, the guitar kind of has like this solo-esque section, and it serves as a really good transition back to the main chorus. And I think during that section, it kind of like leaves you with a sense of wonder. With all this intensity, it calms down, it dials back, and you're just like sitting there like, oh, let's take it all in. It's really a neat moment that I think ties the entire thing together. And then getting into the final chorus, you got more of a drive by the drums on the last pass through in the chorus. And then as it exits out, it just leaves off with like this wind down, like a breath, just again, to just take it all in, calm down. It was super intense. Now it's time to breathe. And it leaves you with the sense of like, all right, what's coming in the next song? And so it makes me excited to check out the next song in the list on the album. So that's what I took from this song. I thought it was really, really well written. I think it's probably one of my favorites so far, like one of the ones I'd go back to and listen to most on the album. I really, really enjoyed this one. So that's it for this analysis. Let me know what you were able to pull from this. I want to learn more because Nightwish is a very intellectual band and they have lots of thought, lots of intricacies to their music, and the more I can learn about it, the better. So I appreciate any insights you can give in the comments. If you like the video, leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications so that you don't miss anything going forward. And if you have any suggestions for other Nightwish songs or other bands you'd like me to check out, or if you want to see any parodies, guitar covers, vocal covers, whatever you'd like to see music related on the channel, drop it in a comment. I'll give you a shout out whenever I do any of those videos. I also want to thank Jonas S for supporting me on Patreon. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's it for this video. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you, and rock on.